Some people use debt to make themselves richer, while most people use debt to make their banker richer. I'm not an advocate for debt, but this is such an important concept to understand if you ever want to become wealthy. Let's start with an example. Elon Musk uses debt to live a billion-dollar lifestyle and not pay a single penny in taxes. And the reason why he's able to do that is because he's not paid with a salary, because you are taxed on your income. And if you get a salary, money deposited into your bank account, you now have a taxable income that you have to pay taxes on. So what he did is something different. When he was building Tesla, he negotiated something different. Instead of being paid in a salary, he said, pay me in stock options. A stock option gives you the right to buy shares in a company. In this case, he had the option to buy shares in the Tesla stock, and the stock options adjusted for stock splits said that you have the ability to buy Tesla stock at $350 a share. So if Tesla goes up to $500 a share, he can exercise the stock option, buy it for $350, sell it for $500, and make $150 of profit for each share that he owns immediately. If Tesla stock goes up to $1,000 a share, same thing. He can buy it for $350, sell it for $1,000, and make that $650 of profit for every share that he owns. Now, you might be wondering, well, how many shares does he actually own? He negotiated 20 million shares of Tesla at the $350 stock option price. Now, take a look at this. The Tesla stock goes up to, let's just say, $1,000 a share. That means for every share, he has essentially made $650. And if he owns 20 million of them, that means he has effectively $13 billion of wealth. But remember, this isn't money in his bank account. This is wealth he has access to. In order for Elon Musk to actually have this $13 billion, he has to exercise the stock options, meaning he has to buy the stock at $350 and then immediately sell it for $1,000. But the problem with that is when he does that, he's going to have an income and now he has a tax bill. Not to mention he's also sold the stock. This is where Elon Musk does something different. He says, I have these 20 million stock options that are worth $13 billion. Again, if I sell this, I have an income which I have to pay tax on. So instead of having a taxable income, how about I go to the bank and I say, hey bank, I have this asset under my control. These 20 million shares of the Tesla stock worth $10, $13 billion, whatever the stock price is today. How about you give me a loan for, let's call it $1 billion. No bank is going to say no because they know that he has the collateral and the ability to pay. So what happens? Now banks give him that $1 billion and now he lives off of that $1 billion. And now he just has to pay interest back to the bank. But here's the interesting part. That $1 billion that he got from the bank, that debt, it's not taxable because it's debt. When you go out and get a loan to buy a house, you don't pay taxes on it because it's not your money, it's a loan. When you do a cash out refinance, it's not taxable because it's a loan. And this is where things can really start to get interesting, because the next question you're gonna have is, well, how in the world does Elon actually pay back that debt? Because the bank is gonna want that money back, especially if he doesn't have a salary. And the way that Elon Musk and many other wealthy people who are doing this think about it is they say, okay, I have these assets that are worth $13 billion when my stock is worth $1,000 a share, but when my stock is now going to be worth $2,000 a share, now all I got to do is do a refinance. I can take out $2 billion from the bank at this time, pay this original loan off, and now I have more cash. So it's the game of working to increase the stock's value. That way we can borrow more money and then pay back and pay off the original debts. Of course, this comes with a risk, because if the stock value crashes or if the stock goes bankrupt, well, now you have these billions of dollars of loans with no collateral, who really the person that's going to suffer at that point is the bank, because now the bank has lost billions of dollars with no way of getting that money back because the collateral is gone. This is a game that wealthy people are playing. They're using debt, that way you can avoid taxes, but they're also using debt to not sell assets, that way they can continue growing the value of their assets. So using debt to buy assets and using debts to avoid taxes. This is what wealthy people are doing, and it works for some people. The mistake that so many people make when they try to do this is they're doing the same game just to make their banker richer instead of making themselves richer. Now, again, if you are an investor, you want to become an investor, I want to remind you that my team at Briefs Media publishes a free daily newsletter called Market Briefs, where we break down what's happening in things like the economy, housing, stocks, crypto, and the global markets into a fun, witty, and easy to read newsletter. We have hundreds of thousands of subscribers that are reading Market Briefs every morning, and when you join Market Briefs, you'll also get my investing masterclass as a bonus, where I'll walk you through how you can get started as an investor and how you can find hidden investment opportunities before everybody else. This is completely free, so if you want to get the investing masterclass plus Market Briefs all for free, all you have to do is click the link down in the description below. What the majority of people are doing is they say, I have $50,000 a year of income, and banks are willing to lend me money. That way now I can have an additional $50,000 of debt, which means I can live a $100,000 a year lifestyle because I can drive a nicer car, I can wear better clothes, I can go on fancier vacations, I can live in a bigger home because banks will give me that money. And now you are going to work to get paid, not to make yourself richer, but to keep paying back your debt. You're going to work to pay your bills, and then you got to pay the bank. And then when you have any money left over, you can use it to save and invest, which for most people is nothing. I mean, it feels like every day credit card debt is breaking a new record high in America. If you have $8,000 worth of credit card debt, which is about the average household with credit card debt today, and you're paying the average APR, which is about 25%, and then you make the minimum monthly payments on this debt, which about $250 a month. Do you know how much money you are going to pay in interest? Because it's not $1,000, it's not $2,000, it's not $4,000, it's not $5,000. You're going to pay $5,300 just in interest alone on top of the $8,000 of things that you bought, which means this 25% APR is actually going to cost you around 66% interest over the years it takes to pay off the $8,000 worth of credit card debt. This is why I'm a big advocate of all debt is bad debt. Now you're going to say, well, Jaspreet, you just showed me how Elon Musk is using debt to make himself richer. Yes, but here's the problem. If Elon Musk didn't keep working in Tesla, or if Tesla starts to really tank, and now the banks want their money back because they're not getting paid, that same good debt has just turned bad. And this is where if you're going to be using debt, you have to know how to do it strategically and treat it like bad debt. That way you don't get screwed over by that same debt. And this is where you gotta lay some rules, because rule number one has to be, from here on out, no more financing things that don't put money in your pocket. No more financing liabilities, period. That includes 0% APR things. If you go into the Apple store, you want to buy a $1,000 iPhone, you have two options. You can buy it with $1,000 out of your pocket, or credit cards, which obviously that is not the right thing to do, or you can do a 0% APR option, where instead of paying the $1,000 today, you just pay $100 a month with 0% APR. And you're gonna say, well, Jaspreet, doesn't that make more sense? Because I could take the $1,000 and invest it today, and I can get a return on that money and not pay any additional interest, which makes sense in theory. But now let's take this one step back. If that really were the case, why would any company offer you money at 0% interest? Because no bank is gonna give you money at 0% interest, so why do so many companies do it? And the reason why is because companies know that 0% APR is so profitable. How is it profitable? Because number one, they know it's much easier to buy something when you don't have the full pain of paying full price today, because it's not $1,000. It's just $100 a month of easy payments. Number two, they can get you to buy more stuff when you don't have the pain of $1,000 leaving your account. If you don't have $1,000 leaving your account, well now maybe you buy some nice accessories for your phone, maybe buy a new case, maybe buy the nice care package to go along with it, because you don't have the full pain of $1,000 leaving your account today. If you see the pain of $1,000 leaving your account, you're gonna watch every dollar that's leaving. And then number three is they know many people are not gonna pay off the phone in time. And when you don't do that, well now you get slapped with 25, 35% interest, even though it was supposed to be just easy payments of $100 a month. So rule number one, no more financing liabilities that don't put money in your pocket. The only exception is your house, which means yes, when you go to buy that car, buy it with cash. And you're going to say, well, Jaspreet, how in the world am I supposed to afford my $50,000 BMW with cash? And maybe you don't. When you go to buy that $50,000 BMW, there's a couple things that are going to happen. Number one, you're going to put down an $8,000 down payment, maybe even more. And then you're going to have to pay somewhere between $700 to $1,100 a month, depending on your credit score, depending on your interest, depending on a whole lot of factors. Well, now you feel like you can afford this car because you can make these monthly payments, when in reality, this car is keeping you broke. And what I'd like you to do is buy this car with cash. And if you don't have the $50,000 to buy this car with cash, don't buy this car. Instead, get rid of that car, take the $8,000 that you would put as a down payment, buy an $8,000 car with cash, and now the $700 to $1,100 a month that you were paying towards your car, put that towards your savings, put that towards your investments, put that towards paying down your debt. Yeah, you're not gonna drive the same BMW, but you'll have a good working condition car. And you're gonna say, oh, Jaspreet, you don't understand. Trust me, I do. I was making millions of dollars a year, still driving around in a beat down Toyota with 3 different types of rims on the car, with no bumper on the car, with employees that drove better cars than me, because I was focused on building my assets and building my wealth before I drove around in a nice fancy car. And today, I got me a nice Toyota RAV4. So yes, I get it, it's hard, but if you really want to make your own wealth, you got to stop playing the game of trying to show off to everybody else and make yourself wealthy first. Rule number 2, which will help you with this, is rule of 5. This is, if you want to go out and buy a luxury, that's not a necessity, a luxury. Now, follow my rule of 5, which says if you can't buy 5 of them, you can't afford 1 of them. You want to buy the $50,000 BMW, you better be worth at least $250,000. You want to buy the $10,000 Rolex, you better have $50,000 before you go out and buy that. And then we have rule number 3. When it comes to actually using debt to build a business or to buy real estate, you have to use debt strategically. Don't use debt stupidly. I had a conversation with one of my bank managers a little while ago where he told me how difficult it was to reject some of his clients who wanted a business loan. Where one of his clients wanted to get a loan, $70,000 or so, to buy this pet grooming business. The problem was that business was losing money every single month because the current projections showed that this business was not making money because they weren't paying themselves. And there was also no non-compete clause, which meant that there was no protection around this business. The owner of this business could start a brand new competitor to this exact store right across the street, and there really was no special equipment included. So you're buying this business, which isn't making money, and then the owners could go and start a brand new business right across the street, and somebody wanted to borrow $70,000 to do that when they could start the exact same business for a fraction of the price. And this is where sometimes having too much money can be a big problem. In fact, many times too much money can be a disease. And when you think you need a loan, you need other people's money to go out and start a business or to start something, you're many times setting yourself up for failure. And this is where you can use debt to grow what you've built. But when you need debt to start, that's where it's going to be a problem for most people. Use debt to scale something that you have because you've already proven the product. If you know that this business is working, if you know that this business just needs some more money to take it to the next level, well, now you can find different ways to finance the next growth. Maybe you find an investor. Maybe use debt because you've already proven it. You just need some fuel on your fire. But if you're using debt to build the fire, that's a problem. Same thing with real estate. I'm going to be completely honest here. No money down real estate deals have made me a lot of money. But not in the way that you think. They've made me a lot of money because there's a lot of gurus out there selling this no money down real estate crap. They get you to buy their programs and some people take action and then they have no idea what they're doing. They get in way over their head. You buy this property, you start to lose money on it, and then the banks force you to sell it at a huge loss through a foreclosure. It's a very painful process. It's an emotionally draining process. And then the banks will sell this property for pennies on the dollar to somebody else like me, who can come in and buy that property. That's why I am not an advocate for no money down real estate. I would rather you have the money and buy something that you can comfortably purchase, even if you're using debt, but having a strong down payment to 25 to 35%. That way now you are much more comfortable in the deal and you can learn and make some mistakes, because you're gonna make mistakes, especially if you're just getting started. Maybe if you're getting started, try to shadow somebody else, work with some other investors if possible, but you gotta understand you're going to lose, you're gonna make mistakes. Debt will amplify your stupidity. And all of us are stupid, especially me. I have made a lot of stupid mistakes. But when you have debt, you have one guarantee. You have to pay that money back. If you make a mistake with cash, the most you lose is the cash that you invest. If you make a mistake with debt, well, now not only do you lose whatever you invested, but now you have to keep making the debt payments as well. This is why I believe all debt is bad. If you're going to use debt, use it to grow something that you already established and have stabilized. Don't use it to start something.
I would love for you to share first, how do you think that institutions profit from our financial uneducation?
Well, I think the system, our economic system, is designed to keep the majority of people poor. After learning about how money works, you start to see why certain things work the way that they do. I'll explain exactly what I mean.